So industry requires one fundamental thing, a conducive environment. So
Yes.
that holds many things.
Yeah.
For a conducive environment, the policies should be, I would say, not, people say friendly policy. I would say ease of business doing policy.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the ITCN Daftarkhwan Lounge, and I am Sana Mela. I've been talking to people all day. Here I have now Nadeem Saab with me, and thank you, Nadeem Saab, for taking out time. We're all a little. This is a coffee time for us, so I'm going to make sure that we keep it fun and simple. Currently, Nadeem Saab's with Pasha, so I'm going to, before we start on the high notes of Pasha in the industry, we were just matching notes on how so many people are sad about Pakistan and they're leaving Pakistan, and the entire lens of, there's a lens of sadness. And then he looks at me and he says, well, I've gotten a Stupid of the Year award twice. And so let's start with that. How do we move forward with this conversation?
First of all, thank you very much for having here. It'll certainly be a privilege to be here and share some of my experience. It was funny at my what to call tragedy become a funny after sometimes. That's what it is. I've been awarded the Stupid of the Year award twice at least in my life. I was lucky enough when I finished my undergrad school in US back in '88. Some of you probably were just in high school or maybe in kindergartens. So I got lucky enough to get a job with US Department of Commerce.
Right.
So a lot of people thought, at that time, how could a student who just graduated undergrad school get such a high-fly job? Which beats me sometimes. But I think later on I was revealed by my boss that my predecessor was from India. They were
Right.
very impressed by him. So they said, I could do the same kind of job. So they offered me a job, and I did a pretty good there as well. I think I worked for them for about 4 years. And then I decided, okay, it's time to go back to Pakistan. So I moved back in 91 later, part of the year. Came to Pakistan with no plans, just want a love of the country. So it's easier to say that. A lot of people say the love of the country. Of course, my family was here.
Particularly at this time.
It was 91. It was a very lucrative market in US. We didn't have a 9/11 kind of incident. Wonderful time. Economic growth was there. But I think one of the things which I observed when I was in US, the whole Pakistani community, or even what you call expats from different countries, I just felt like it's identity crisis always when you're not the native of a country. So I always felt my roots are in Pakistan.
Right.
I'm identified as a Pakistani.
Right.
And I never felt that I should be ashamed of it. And I always took a pride of it. That, okay, I am part of it. So I think I just always had that feel like I want to be identified why I'm happen to be there. So I think I felt that proud, and I still feel that feel of pride still in with me.
So now in 2024, how do you look at this is for people who are sad and leaving.
So happen is I got sad as well. So a few years down the road, I was working for a very large company in Pakistan. I start feeling that the same sadness. I'm not growing. I'm not getting anywhere. I left a lucrative job and everything opportunity. Let's go back to US. So back in '94, later part, I went back to US.
Okay.
So I did my MBA. I worked again. Then I decided, I think that was not the right thing to do. Let's go back. I was well prepared. I came back in '98. So I think that was again Super of the Year. Why you came back into Pakistan?
Okay.
You were, sad. You didn't feel like it. I believe today is the same scenario where I felt 20 years ago. So one of the famous saying is, what I know today, had I known 20 years ago, would I be the same place? No. I'm probably much better off.
Okay.
So I think what I found out, a lot of people are believing what they are hearing, but they are not seeing things around them. Opportunity in this land exists. Tremendous opportunity. Pakistan is number one, our identity. Second thing is our home. Second thing, we have roots here. Third thing is we need to find an opportunities in this country. We still a green field for many fields, but we are not looking at it. We're only looking, we're only hearing. What they say, when you're hearing, you're not listening. So I think that's
I hear you on that.
That's fundamental. Young kids today, I think, are privileged because they have more opportunities and more exposure with with this social media crowdsourcing. They are more exposed to what's going on in the world, and they feel that they can contribute much better there. But here, where the opportunity is still in a green field, we are a step behind the world. But that step behind give us an opportunity what to do, what not to do. So a little bit, lot of learning out of it.
Yeah.
And if you see it, people who have, Steve Jobs once said, "Be foolish, be hungry." In Punjabi में वो कहते हैं अकल नहीं तो मोजा ही मोजा. So I think that kind of risk averseness need to go away.
Okay.
So I think we need to take a little step forward,
Okay.
take a little risk, and in this country can offer you a tremendous opportunity.
that's
We
a-
already seen successful
Obviously,
people all
I mean,
around
lots
us.
lots of stories of lots of businesses who've stuck it out, remain there, and moving forward with your current role, I'm very excited to ask you more about that because Pakistan's tech ecosystem has evolved wonderfully, and obviously it contributes to the exports. And there are networking opportunities, and then there are organizations like Pasha, and Pasha has been, in conversation for a lot of reasons, good and not so good reasons. And now you're there, and so people are eyeing and saying, "Hey, what is Pasha really doing now?"
I think joining Pasha was for me as coming home. When I landed back in '98, I started my own software company.
Right.
So Pasha was basically at that time maybe not as vibrant as it's been over the years, but it was there. A lot of good companies who formed it. They were trying a wonderful job. So I joined Pasha at that time, and I felt there's more to contribute towards it. So when I joined Pasha, it was right after I took a retirement from my last job with Oracle. Over the career, I led Microsoft in Pakistan. I was a part of IBM. I sort of very of the pioneer in Huawei, started establishing in Pakistan. So I felt coming back to Pasha is that I can contribute the experience I gained over the years through multinationals, and I can help Pasha to build upon what many people have done over the years. So where the Pasha is a contribution of wonderful people who built Pasha over the years, last 30 years. Pasha has been around, and I think I'm very fortunate to inherit a very strong foundation and fundamental and value of the Pasha. I would like to say thank you to current Central Executive Committee, who's very vibrant, very sort of indulging into the work, and specifically our current chairman, Zohaib. I've seen people over the years who's been at the helms of the fair and the Pasha. But the kind of time he has spent over the year, my interaction with last year, I think his dedication is unwavering. So what Pasha is doing what Pasha is meant for, we are the voice of industry. So industry is requiring a lot of interventions. For example, a conducive environment is...
Yes, policy. I mean, we've spoken about policy all day.
So we're talking about policy. So why something? So industry requires one fundamental thing, a conducive environment.
Yes.
So that holds many things.
Yeah.
For a conducive environment, the policies should be, I would say not, people say friendly policy. I would say ease of business doing policy. I was with some regulator this morning. I said, look at the IT industry from the lens of IT industry, not a comparison of any other industry.
Yeah.
So we are very dynamic. Is a one person with an internet connection can sit down and work anywhere.
Yeah.
The companies can be remote. Company can be dispersed. So start looking us on differently. We are trade surplus. If we are exporting $100, we're probably only importing $10 equipment or something like that. So we are trade surplus industry. We are service industry. And we have a huge skill populated for the young.
Yeah.
So what we need to do is, we need to have a policy which is looking at industry different angle. We need to skill our youth because we are the one alone can take Pakistan out of this financial, I wouldn't say crisis, but the financial dilemma we are facing every time. So I think that's where Pasha is doing the policy intervention.
Right.
We are working with HEC, NAFTA, TAFTEC. how do we do the skill sets.
Right.
We're working privately as well on the skill set. For the policy, we're talking about FBR, State Bank of Pakistan, SSCP. So where we can see Pakistan could be the true tech destination.
Right.
where
Nadeem
peop-
sir, sorry I'm interjecting, but we've so many conversations have happened on policy interventions. If the FBR does this, if the State Bank does this, if the regulatory does this, the if has been really, 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 really slow and patience testing. I mean, what would it take for the government? How receptive is the government right now? Because a lot of government people actually do come and are very welcoming, and they do say that, hey, we want to help you guys. But there's something happens and things don't really go at that pace. So what do we do?
I think I'll be very candid on this question. Government wants to do it, certainly. Government recognize it, certainly. It's not that this one or previous one or 10 governments away. I think they all do. But our whole system is built upon what we call old industrial mindset. So whether it's an FBR, whether this is PEPRA, whether this is anything, they are industrial mindset. So they think if we want to acquire something or if we want to contribute something, it has to be some tangible things. So I think that's industrial mindset need to change. So we are in digital economy. So we are gig economy. There's so many deep down definitions or bifurcations is beyond the comprehension how we cover with different, and they are not ready to take disruption is happening, but not in a government.
Yeah.
Government also need to do the disruption.
Yeah.
I think that's a bigger gap. That's where the if comes in. But if you look at it, despite that if is not converting into good things, or I'm not saying all the time, a lot of good intervention has happened thanks to SIFC's intervention. I think that one institute has changed the game
Right.
in very recent past.
Okay.
Because their motto is we're here to cut the red tape. We are saying good enough. Cut the red tape today, but fix the red tape as well for the longer term, which is I think is one of the good objective, which we all
Yeah,
appreciate
thanks
that.
for saying that, because I don't think we talk enough about it.
So we don't. So why red tape to start with?
Yeah.
But okay, if we can do immediate intervention by cutting it, cut it, and then do it. Does not mean that I would say violate the rules, but if you can cut it, you can, wonderful. But the government needed disruption in their mindset, from industrial mindset to digital economy mindsets. We need to understand technology is not software development alone. Technology is going to grow every business, from agriculture to food tech to supply and chain, from you name it.
Yeah.
No sector today
That
can
can work
live
without it,
without
yeah.
technology interventions. So we need to have a very holistic, overarching approach to do this, and that's what Pasha is constantly advocating it, from our chairman to our CEC to our members to our committees. It's a very vibrant system in Pasha. No single person is representing Pasha. Our 1,200 plus members are representing Pasha. Our CEC representing Pasha. So I think we have the same voice coming up, and that's why we're raising it.
I think Pakistan needs that on many levels, the same voice. And I'm glad you've said it like that. And I know you're short on time, so we could cut this. But my last comment, a last comment from you would be: the startups have died, the funding has dried up, and so what is that last message to people who are still looking out and saying, I don't know?
So first, I think you said people are leaving Pakistan. I'm going to start from their part. I don't see this as a negative thing, to be
Okay.
very honest.
Okay.
Diaspora built many countries. Our neighboring country was
Is
built
built
by
on-
the diasporas.
Yes.
Our emerging economies, whether it's Bangladesh, Vietnam, Philippines, you name it, those countries were built by their diasporas. So I don't think so that is, we should be condemning it, we should be saying it. People get an opportunity, they still have a love for this country. It always been there.
Yeah.
It always
It
be
will be
there.
there.
We have very strong love for our country.
Yeah.
So I don't want to diminish it. Hey, you're leaving Pakistan, you don't love it.
Thank
I think
you.
you're leaving Pakistan because you have a better opportunity. Go there, grow yourself. Maybe tomorrow we want to see a Microsoft CEO Pakistani. Maybe we want to see
Why
a
not?
vice president of Oracle Pakistani.
Why not?
They have done it. We
Why
can
not?
do
We
it.
can do it,
I don't
yes.
see, like I said, my example,
Yeah.
I was hired My manager told me that, the previous guy was from India. We felt him, he's very dedicated, very intelligent. You came from the same region. So I want to prove that. And after 4 years when I was leaving, he was crying, why are you leaving? You had such an opportunity. And I said, okay, I've got to go back country. They were happy because I did the same thing, maybe beyond expectation. I think people should not demoralize or demand on that part. Second part, we need to enough people train in this country so we can fulfill our own dream of bigger companies as well.
Right.
So young kids, my message is, don't start looking what you're hearing it. Listening the opportunity in this country. Amazing. We are the most resilient nation on the face of earth. The kind of the issues, geopolitical, everything Pakistan has faced over the years, and still we are thriving. The
And still we're laughing
cars on
and-
the road.
Yeah.
We are eating out. We are going to the education institutes. We're sitting here.
I see.
Pakistan is thriving. So don't let that wrong perspective distract you from this. This is a beautiful country. We identify with this country. Take this identification with pride.
Thank you so much. Thank
My
you so much,
pleasure.
Nadeem Saab. It's a pleasure listening to you. And on that note, for all of you, I think he said enough. Let's take pride in whatever we have. We are a resilient nation. And for those of you who are leaving, we wish you well. And there's no point diminishing any of you, those who stay or those who leave. On that note, I wish you well. Thank you from this Fireside and see you later.